Next, let's crochet the daisy. We'll use the magic ring technique. Work around the magic ring. Now, let's show. Start with a magic ring. Then crochet 6 single crochets into the magic ring. After completing them, close the ring. Finally, join with a slip stitch to the first single crochet. Pull tight. That's how you complete the first round. Now let's move on to the second round. Start with a chain as beginning chain. Then, in the same stitch, where the slip stitch is, crochet 1 single crochet first. Then do a SC2 in 1. That means crocheting 2 single crochets into the same stitch. After finishing that, refer to the pattern and work this round completely. Once done, finish with a slip stitch. That completes the second round. For the third round, work single crochets evenly. Follow the chart while crocheting. After completing it, break the yarn. Once that's done, let's start the final round. First, join a new yarn. In this round, pick up the front loops only and crochet. Crochet 4 chains. Then, from the second stitch from your hook, make a slip stitch. In the same position, crochet another slip stitch. Then crochet 4 more chains. Then, from the second to last stitch, work a slip stitch. After finishing, move to the adjacent stitch. Pick up the front loop and crochet a slip stitch. Then make 4 chains. Then work a slip stitch as you go back. After completing it, in the same position, make another slip stitch. 4 chains. Work a slip stitch going back. Continue following the chart to complete this round. After finishing, at the beginning position, make another slip stitch. Then leave a tail about 30 centimeters long and fasten off the yarn. That's how you finish crocheting one daisy. Next, everyone can follow the same method. Crochet all the daisies in the same way. That concludes the daisy section. The pine cone is divided into the main part and the petals. Start by crocheting the main part, then crochet the petals onto the main part. Begin with an adjustable magic ring. Wrap the yarn tail once around the little finger of your left hand. Pass it through between the middle finger and index finger. Then pinch the yarn tail with your thumb and middle finger. Pick up the crochet hook with your right hand. Position it underneath the yarn. Wrap the yarn counterclockwise around the hook. This will form a loop on the hook. Use your left hand's thumb and middle finger to pinch the crossing point of the loop. Make sure the loop is large. Put the hook on the left side of the yarn. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. Keep pinching the loop. Maintain its size. The magic ring is now done. Next, work the first round. Start with a chain as the beginning chain for the single crochet. This chain does not count as a stitch. Then work the single crochets around the ring. Insert into the magic ring. Yarn over, draw the yarn through. 2 loops remain on your hook. Yarn over again, pull through all loops on the hook. 1 single crochet is now finished. At the top right of the single crochet, there is a V shape formed by 2 yarns. This is the stitch of a single crochet. Continue working single crochets. Insert into the magic ring. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. Yarn over again, pull through both loops on the hook. The second single crochet is now completed. For the first round, you need to work a total of 6 single crochets. Continue to complete the remaining single crochets. 3, 4, 5, 6. After that, close the magic ring. Pull the yarn tail. Tighten the center of the fabric. Then, join with a slip stitch into the first single crochet. That is, crochet in the second chain, from the yarn tail on the left. 1, 2. It's this large braid. If you really can't tell, you can also count back from the last stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's still this stitch. Insert your hook. Yarn over, draw the yarn through. And pull through all the loops on the hook. Slip stitch completed. This is the chain formed by the slip stitch. It does not count as a stitch. You need to tighten it to avoid crocheting extra stitches later. The first round is done. Move on to crochet the second round. Make 1 chain as your beginning chain. Let's take a look at the fabric. Each stitch has 2 strands of yarn. The strand closer to you is the front loop. The strand farther from you is the back loop. Hook into the back loop of the first stitch of the round. Crochet 1 SC2 in 1. That means you will work 2 single crochets into this 1 strand of yarn. Place the beginning tail of the yarn above the crochet hook. Weave in the ends as you go along. 1 stitch, 2 stitches. The SC2-in-1 is now complete. Continue by picking up the back loop of the next stitch on the left, and working another SC2-in-1. Don't forget to weave in the yarn tail as you go. The second SC2-in-1 is now done. The pattern for this round of crochet is to work into the back loops of the stitches from the previous round, correspondingly make SC2-in-1. Next, finish all the remaining SC2-in-1. After completing the last SC2-in-1, check the stitch count. Count back from the last stitch. 1, 2, 3, 11, 12. There are 12 stitches in this round. The total number of stitches for each round is indicated in the corresponding chart. I won't explain this in detail moving forward. Next, work a slip stitch into the first stitch. You can take a look. There are 2 small braids between the first stitch and the last yarn tail. These are the slip stitch from the previous round and the beginning chain of this round. Skip these 2 stitches, work into the first stitch. Hook into the stitch. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. And draw through all the loops on the hook. Slip stitch completed. Pull tight. You can cut off the extra yarn tail from the beginning chain directly. You can see that the texture on the right side is clearer, while the wrong side looks a bit blurry. When crocheting, keep the right side facing you. The second round is now complete. Continue with the third round. Make 1 chain as your beginning chain. Let me emphasize this again. You need to make a beginning chain at the start of every round. I won't repeat this for the following rounds. In this round, crochet into the back loop only. Start with 1 single crochet. Then make 1 SC2-in-1. After completing it, continue picking up the back loops of the stitches. Make 1 single crochet and 1 SC2-in-1. Now let's take a look at the crochet pattern for this round. 1 single crochet, 1 SC2-in-1. Repeat this pattern. This method is called skip 1, increase 1. Next, we will follow this crochet pattern to complete this round. Finally, join with the first stitch using a slip stitch. That is, at the first large braid on the left side. Tighten it. The third round is now completed. Next, we will crochet the fourth round. Continue crocheting into the back loop of the stitches for this round. Start with 1 SC2-in-1. Then make 2 single crochets evenly. Then, make another SC2-in-1. Followed by 2 single crochets. Now let's take a look at the crochet pattern for this round. Repeat 1 SC2 in 1 and then 2 single crochets worked even. This method is called increase 1 stitch every 2. Continue following this pattern to complete the entire round. After finishing, join with a slip stitch into the first stitch. Tighten it. The 4th round is now completed. Let's move on to the 5th round. For this round, work into the back loop of each stitch. Work even with single crochets. Crochet the entire round. After completing, join with a slip stitch to the first stitch. Pull tight. The 5th round is now completed. Let's take a look. On the right side, each raised texture represents one round. So far, we have crocheted 5 rounds in total. Starting from the 6th round, we will begin decreasing stitches. First, work 6 single crochets into the back loop of the stitches. Then work 1 SC2 tog hook into the back loop of the left stitch. Pull the yarn through. There are now 2 loops on the hook. This is an unclosed single crochet. Next, work another unclosed single crochet in the back loop of the left stitch. Insert into the stitch. Pull the yarn through. Now there are 3 loops on the hook. That's 2 unclosed single crochets. Yarn over and draw through all 3 loops. 1 SC2 tog is now complete. Continue with 6 single crochets. Then work 1 SC2 tog. Pick up the back loops to work unclosed single crochets. 1, 2. Yarn over and draw through all 3 loops. Another SC2 tog is now complete. Work 6 more single crochets. And 1 SC2 tog. Join with a slip stitch to the first stitch. Pull tight. The 6th round is now completed. For the 7th round, pick up the back loops of the stitches. Work 1 single crochet in each stitch. Complete this round. The 7th round is now completed. Continue to the 8th round. In this round, pick up the stitches and crochet. First, make 2 single crochets evenly. Note: here you are crocheting with 2 strands of the picked up stitches. Don't crochet wrong. Then, work 1 SC2 tog. After that, crochet 5 single crochets and 1 SC2 tog. The crochet pattern for this round is to decrease after every 5 stitches. Next, follow this pattern to complete the round. After completing the last SC2 tog, crochet 3 more single crochets. Together with the initial 2 single crochets, it makes exactly 5 single crochets. Join with a slip stitch into the first stitch. Tighten the yarn. The 8th round is now completed. For the 9th round, pick up only the back loops to work. Crochet even single crochets. Once you finish this round, the 9th round is completed. Take a look at the fabric. Since the 8th round was crocheted by picking up stitches, between these 2 horizontal lines, there are 2 rounds of raised textures. You need to count 2 rounds correspondingly. Make sure not to miss any counts. The crocheting method for the remaining part of the main body is relatively simple. All the stitch techniques used have been demonstrated in detail earlier. The total stitches for each round, the number of increased stitches, and the increase pattern are all provided as references in the chart. Pay attention that for all even-numbered rounds, you will crochet by picking up stitches. For odd-numbered rounds, you will crochet by working into the back loops only. When counting rounds, there are 2 rounds between each line segment. Don't miss any counts. Everyone follow the chart and refer to the previous demonstration to continue crocheting. You will also need to stuff while crocheting. Start stuffing when you have 2 rounds left. I'll demonstrate the stuffing method using this sample. Fluff up the stuffing and then stuff it in. You can use scissors to assist if needed. After it's firmly stuffed, gently shape the fabric's curve. Pay attention not to stuff it too tight. A slightly softer stuffing will give a better effect. That's the method for stuffing. For the last round of the main piece, pick up stitches and crochet. Start with 1 SC2 tog. Then make 1 single crochet. Continue following the pattern of decreasing every other stitch. Finish this round. After completing, join with a slip stitch. Pull tight. Leave the yarn tail for now without dealing with it. That completes the last round. Everyone, take a look. This is what the main part of the pine cone looks like when finished. Next, we'll crochet the pine cone petals. Let's check the finished product. Follow the remaining front loops on the main part of the pine cone. Crochet in rounds on the wrong side. Start with the first round. Continue crocheting from the ending position of the main piece. Turn the work piece counterclockwise on the last stitch of the final round of the main part. Work 1 slip stitch. Weave in the yarn tail to this position as a transition. Chain 1 as the beginning chain. Work 1 double crochet into this stitch. Yarn over. Hook into the stitch. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. Now there are 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops. Now there are 2 loops remaining on the hook. Yarn over again, pull through these 2 loops. 1 double crochet is now completed. The braid on the upper right is the stitch of this double crochet. Continue with 1 chain. Work 1 slip stitch in the same stitch. Treat these 2 slip stitches and 2 chains with 1 double crochet as 1 small petal. For this round, skip 1 stitch. Then crochet one of these small petals. Let me demonstrate it again. Skip the left stitch. Work 1 slip stitch in the second stitch. Work 1 chain. Then work 1 double crochet in this stitch. Yarn over, hook into the stitch. Yarn over, draw the yarn through. There are 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, pull the yarn through the first 2 loops on the hook. Repeat this step twice. 1, 2. And a double crochet is done. Continue with 1 chain. Work 1 slip stitch in the same stitch. The second petal is now completed. Follow these steps. Skip 1 stitch. Crochet another petal. After completing it, at the entry position of the first petal, work 1 slip stitch. Then, secure the yarn tail. Stretch the loop. Pass the fabric through the loop. Slightly tighten it. The yarn tail is now settled. The first round is complete. Move on to the second round. Let's take a look. On the main part, there are rounds of half stitches left from the stitches. Here is a row of slip stitch marks. Place the tip of the main part toward yourself. Locate the first round of small segments below. Join the yarn on the segment to the left side of the slip stitch mark. Hook into this segment. Pull the yarn tail through. Adjust the loop size slightly. Pay attention. Don't pull the carried yarn too tight, to prevent the fabric from shrinking. Chain 1 as a transition next. Work 1 double crochet in this position. Chain 1 for transition. Work 1 slip stitch in the same spot. This small petal is now completed. Continue with a gap of 1 segment. Crochet 1 small petal on the second segment from the left. Skip down 1 segment. Crochet 1 small petal. Finish this round. Complete the last small petal. Work 1 slip stitch in the insertion position of the first small petal. Secure the yarn tail. The second round is now completed. Move on to crochet the third round. Start at the position of the next segment in the following round. Join the yarn on the segment to the left of the slip stitch mark. Chain 2 for transition. Work 1 double crochet in this position. Chain 2 for transition. Work 1 slip stitch in the same spot. Treat these stitches as 1 medium petal. Let me demonstrate it again. Skip 1 segment as an interval. Work 1 slip stitch on the second segment from the left. Chain 2 for transition. Work 1 double crochet. Chain 2. Work 1 slip stitch in the same position. Another medium petal is now done. Skip 1 more segment below. Crochet 1 medium petal. Finish this round. The last medium petal should be crocheted on the last segment. After completing, join with a slip stitch on the first segment. Secure the yarn tail. The third round is now complete. For the fourth round, the crochet method is identical to the third round. Crochet 1 medium petal with 1 segment as an interval. Follow the previous demonstration to finish them. Start crocheting large petals from the fifth round. I'll demonstrate with this sample. Locate the segments in this round. Join the yarn on the segment to the left of the slip stitch mark. Crochet 2 chains for transition. Work a DC 2 in 1 in this position. In other words, crochet 2 double crochets in this position. 1 stitch. 2 stitches. The DC 2 in 1 is now completed. Continue with 2 chains. Work 1 slip stitch in the same position. This large petal is now completed. Let me demonstrate again. Skip 1 segment as an interval. Pick up the second segment on the left and work 1 slip stitch. Crochet 2 chains for transition. Work a DC 2 in 1 in this position. Crochet 2 more chains. Work 1 slip stitch in the same position. Another large petal is now finished. Crochet 1 large petal, skipping 1 segment as you go down. Finish this round. The last large petal should be crocheted on the final segment of this round. Then join with a slip stitch on the first segment. Secure the yarn tail. Round 5 is now completed. For the remaining petals below, find the corresponding positions. Attach the yarn to the segment on the left side of the slip stitch marks. Crochet 1 petal, skipping 1 segment. Rounds 6 and 7 involve crocheting the large petals. The remaining 3 rounds are for crocheting medium petals. The chart only shows the method for crocheting the petals. The exact quantity depends on the number of small segments in the corresponding round. Refer to the previous demonstration to complete them. After finishing the last round of petals, leave a tail of about 5 centimeters and cut the yarn. Weave in the yarn tail inside the pine cone. Look! This is what the pine cone looks like after all the petals are completed. Next, we will crochet the cotton. Let's take a look at the finished product. It consists of an outer shell and a cotton ball. First, complete the making of the cotton ball. Then use the magic ring method. Crochet in rounds for the outer shell. After completion, assemble them together. Now, let's show. First, make the inner cotton ball. That is, create a white round ball like this. Use glue to secure it into a 5-petal cotton shape. After applying the glue, you need to hold it tightly like this for a while. This will make it more secure. And that's how one cotton ball is done. Next, everyone repeat this process, and refer to the pattern instructions to complete the remaining cotton balls on your own. After all the cotton balls are completed, the next step is to crochet the outer shell. I'll continue demonstrating with cotton yarn. The color scheme is random. Start with a magic ring by wrapping the yarn around your finger. Crochet 5 single crochets for the first round. Tighten the loop a bit. Join with a slip stitch into the first single crochet. Pull tight. That completes the first round. Now move on to the second round. Make one chain as your beginning chain. Work one single crochet in each stitch. As you go, weave in the yarn tail from the starting chain. Finish crocheting this round. Working even with single crochets will naturally curl the fabric. Adjust the fabric so that the right side faces out. Join with a slip stitch into the first single crochet. Pull tight. You can cut the starting yarn tail directly. That completes the second round. For the third and fourth rounds, follow the pattern chart sequence. Crochet single crochets or SC2 in 1. Everyone can refer to the previous demonstrations to finish them. I will demonstrate the crocheting method for the fifth round using this sample. Start with 3 chains as the beginning chain. Work 1 T-2 tog. Yarn over twice first. Hook into the next stitch below. Yarn over, draw the yarn through. There are 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over on after another. Pull the yarn through the first 2 loops. Repeat this 2 times. 1, 2. Now there are 2 loops on your hook. This is an unclosed treble crochet. Continue by picking up the next stitch on the left and working the second stitch. Yarn over twice. Insert the hook. Yarn over and draw through. Yarn over on after another. Pull the yarn through the first 2 loops. Repeat this 2 times. Now there are 3 loops on your hook. That is 2 unclosed treble crochets. Yarn over and draw through all loops. This completes the TR2 tog. Move on to chain 3. Work 1 slip stitch in the second chain from the hook. Continue by working 1 slip stitch into the left chain braid. Chain 4 as a transition. Work 1 slip stitch in the stitch below. Then work 1 slip stitch in the adjacent stitch on the left. Treat these stitches as one group of patterns. Repeat this group downward. Let me demonstrate it again. Start by working 1 slip stitch in the left stitch. Chain 3 as a transition. Then work 1 Pt2 tog. Start by picking up these 2 stitches. Work 1 unclosed treble crochet into each of them. Now there are 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over and draw through all loops. This completes the Pt2 tog. Continue with 3 chains. Starting from the second chain from the hook, correspondingly work 2 slip stitches. Chain 4 as a transition. Work 1 slip stitch in the stitch below. Pick up the adjacent stitch on the left and work 1 slip stitch. Another group of patterns is completed. Continue working all the way down following this method to finish this round. After completing the last petal, join with a slip stitch into the first stitch. Tighten it. Work 1 chain to secure. Leave a tail of about 30 centimeters and cut the yarn. Pull the yarn through and tighten. The 5th round is now completed. The cotton cover is now crocheted. After the cover is completed, it's time to assemble the cotton. Thread the reserved yarn tail into a sewing needle. Place the right side of the cover facing you. Insert the sewing needle from front to back through the group of stitches on the left. At the insertion position on the right of the Pt2 tog. Slightly tighten. Take out the cotton ball. Pull it through the center and exit. Then pick up the corner of this group of stitches. These are 2 strands of yarn. Pull the yarn through. Adjust the cotton ball so that any intersection between 2 white spheres corresponds to this group. Then pull the yarn out from the insertion point of this single crochet. Tighten. Next, insert the yarn into this single crochet stitch. Then exit from the insertion position of the single crochet, below the adjacent group on the left. This is the short needle's entry position. Then insert it into the stitch above. Follow the same method. Secure this corner as well. Pull tight. Next, everyone follow the same method. Secure all the remaining pointed corners. After completion, pull the yarn tail out from the center of the outer shell. The outer shell and cotton ball are now assembled. Finally, let's assemble everything. Start by assembling the leaves with the finished fruit, then assemble the remaining decorations in order. Let's start assembling the leaves next. I'll demonstrate with a sample of the cover. First, refer to the actual project. Or place the leaves and sunflower based on personal preference. Pay attention to leaving part of the leaves exposed. After confirming the position, use the wire from the leaf to pick up a few threads. And then twist it a few rounds. Secure the position of the leaf well, then insert the wire into the inside of the cover. If the wire is too long here, you can cut off a part of it. Pick up the remaining yarn tails of the leaf, thread them through a sewing needle, and continue to secure the position and shape of the leaf. Afterwards, weave in the ends and cut the yarn. That's how you secure one leaf. Next, take out the fruit. Assemble the fruits in groups of 6 each. You can refer to the actual project for positioning, or adjust according to your preference. Pay attention, before confirming the position, leave space for assembling the decorations. I will demonstrate using one group as an example. Take out 6 fruits. At the required positions, pick up nearby line segments and insert. Try to keep the intervals as small as possible. Adjust the positions of the fruits. Staggering them will look better. Then hold the insertion points. Use your other hand to pinch the fruit and twist a few times. This will secure the fruit in place. If you're worried it's not secure enough, take the yarn from the cover and sew a few stitches at the base of the fruit to fix it. That's how you secure it well. Following this demonstration, assemble the rest of the fruits accordingly. Now let's take a look at the actual project. The remaining decorations include sunflowers, pine cones, cotton, daisies, and ladybug decorations. All of these are glued in their corresponding positions using hot melt adhesive. If you don't have a hot glue gun, you can use the inner flame of a lighter to melt the glue. Burn it slightly before attaching. The specific positions can be adjusted according to your preference. Make sure sure the surface doesn't show any hot melt glue marks as much as possible. Pay attention to applying the glue in small amounts multiple times. Apart from the ladybug, the other decorations can also be attached using the sewing method. Sew them onto their corresponding positions. The method is not fixed, as long as they are secured firmly. That concludes the assembly of all the decorations. Finally, on both ends of the D-ring, attach the strap. Up to this point, the entire earphone case has been covered. If you still have any unclear points during the crocheting process, don't hesitate to join our Facebook group to get supports. Susan's family. Support your handwork experience, sharing the joy of life. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you in the next episode.